Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakha, Chodash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to sincere Ak. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, La Bachayarium, Shal Yasha'Allah. Of course, saying peace to the election of the nation of Israel. Wa Kal Halayim La Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Chakodash. And all praises to the Most High and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Chakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who well. Peace and salutations to all sincere Achim. They're out there, of course, lifting up the names of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Chakodash in all truth and sincerity, making their bodies a living sacrifice, acceptable to the power of Yahweh Yahushai. Halahayana Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Our power is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Of course, Yahweh is the true, almighty, powerful name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God, and His only begotten Son's name is Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Bahashem, meaning in the name, Recha, meaning spirit, Kodash is holy, which I utter in the Paleo-Hebrew, which is the language that has been returned to the Hebrew Israelites, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and of course those, that have been scattered amongst the heathen, all right, because we have been scattered amongst the heathen as a curse, which is written in Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, I believe it is 64th verse. All right, some of our people are in these various countries, but their lineage, by the way of their fathers, go back to one of the 12 sons of Israel, or 12 tribes of Israel. All right, which Jacob had 12 sons, and we are the Lord's chosen people, the anointed ones, the only Hamashiachim, right, the only anointed ones. Okay, followers of the anointed. Okay, which the anointed one is Yahweh Shai, who the world even calls Jesus Christ. On the brother Mappa, Great Millstone Plain Tables Camp, located here in the city of Philadelphia, in Great Babylon, which is a miracle. Coming again with another lesson of Chakodash, which we have here. USDA allows pink slime to be labeled or reclassified as ground beef. It says, meanwhile, plant-based burgers that smell, cook, and taste like meat are under attack for allegedly misleading customers with meat labels. And I seen this pretty recently. I believe I had, of course, mentioned it to the Achim in the camp. I just wanted to go over it a bit. I mentioned that also, I believe, some of the major defilement amongst our food and our food supply due to this damn devil who is the so-called white man, the Edomites, as Achim has been classifying them as the red Hebrew Edomites, or I just call them Adawamyam, alright, or you could call them Korah, or say Slakia. Ibaryath, or Ibar, which means from the past, are Hebrew, and I believe you could put Adawam, alright, Edomites, alright. And they are the ones cursed to judgment, and they have control of the earth, which Yatazakwak, or Isaac, whom is one of the reincarnations of Yahweh Shai, he of course gave them this blessing, all right, which is a lot of the great things, the fatness of the earth and such, all right. Of course, the earth is given unto the hand of the wicked, all right. They have been ruling, okay, since what? They ruled as the Greeks, the Romans. They have ruled, of course, coming back into their power, and as there's the same Edomites, okay, just call themselves Americans, Russians, etc., etc. All right, hiding, of course, from justice and such, to being a fugitive. They're Cain, all right, and they have control of the earth, and because we have a wicked ruler ruling in the earth, or Arataza, we have, of course, this types of things that go a bit, which is wicked, or shy, right, and unjust. It says the meat paste known as pink slime can now be labeled ground beef. All right, so if you kind of remember, this goes back to that whole thing with the McDonald's. They were going into how, of course, they make these into wheat burgers. All right, and it's just not but a chemical. Let's see. So let's just go into it. It says here that the USDA, or U.S. Department of Agriculture Food Safety Inspection Service. It says in 2012, ABC aired an expose on pink slime, then called lean fine textured beef, or LFTB, that revealed an unsavory origins. South Dakota-based Beef Products Inc., or BPI, produces this LFTB, all right, which is lean finely textured beef, previously, which means, only used in companion animal food, meat trimmings left on animal bones that are mechanically separated from fat before being ground into a thick paste. So you have these remnants of beef and such, all right, the discarded. That's what it should be. All right, they're being utilized for profit, and they make this product, which is lean finely textured beef. Okay, as it says, meat trimmings left from animal bones. Okay, so that is, you have it, meat trimmings left from animal bones. Okay, and in there, of course, it's specifying which type of animal bones. All right, you know, this damn devil, it was found at a time. He was, of course, I believe with Aldi over in the UK, if I'm not mistaken. It was caught having certain products labeled as beef, which had horse meat inside of it. Okay, which is, you know, obviously, I believe that's la kashar, not kosher. All right, going into it, it says the expose sparked public backlash when it revealed the LFTB, which is lean finely textured beef, was used as an additive or filler to bulk up ground beef in an effort to make it cheaper, right? Which you have to understand that these various manufacturers, they use all sorts and matters of deception, okay, in order to get your eye, okay, get your attention. Okay, you in the store, okay, you want to qana, or buy, if I'm not mistaken, that's the Hebrew word, want to buy a piece of mazawan or beef. You know, it can be chicken as well. They, of course, bulk these items up. You know, they fill them up with water, all types of you have it like red dyes, you know, of course, you know, to what profit. You know, there's foods that, of course, be going stale, and they of course, they go repackages, you know, it and such, you know, just to, of course, get that profit. Because you have to understand that America is a consuming nation, or it's consumer nation, which is not but a corporation, in which here, okay, they, of course, just want all of your money. They're greedy, and you have a covetous man, which is Esau Edom, ruling over it. Okay, so they do tactics such as bulking up ground beef, all right, using these various pillars and such, all right. And it says, in addition, companies were not required to label their products to indicate the presence of LFTB, or lean finely textured beef, although it was sterilized with ammonia to kill pathogens. Despite the public outrage, the FSIS told the New Economy last week that the lean finely textured beef, which BPI, which is the Beef Products Inc., if I'm not mistaken, it claims is now made differently, can be labeled as ground beef. So you have it where they, of course, can change up the labeling, okay, because first of all, they are the ones that are prescribing these various unrighteous decrees and such, all right, because they have control of the earth, okay. So you have a lot of people that are not, of course, being informed of these things, okay. They just go into the we store. I go pick up, be bit of hamburger just for some, taco and spaghetti, or whatever burger they want to make. All right, a lot of these people get these mass produced pre-formed patties, and these contain all of it, for the most part. It says by allowing BPI to use this label, all right, and this is it says here that it says it meets the regulatory definition of ground beef under the law 9 FR 319/515. All right, and I think I got one scripture. I'm going to read Isaiah 10:1. I'm reading off my physical, but they call it my awarium wa thumium. All right, lights wa and perfection. Okay, my wee cell phone. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, in that right grievousness which they have prescribed." It says to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to turn the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. All right, you have it like most of our people, of course, they of course are not, of course, they're being, as Gentiles, and not, all right, under their father Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Speaking of the 2/3, okay, who refuse to walk in the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, you'll hear us, of course, bring up this information, law, statutes, commandments. You have been separated, consecrated, all right, from these other nations, and you're of course married or joined onto the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and you refuse, okay, to come back, or shawab, all right, wa zakar, remember, okay, your power, okay. And this is where you get caught up in it, okay. And this is why we need to have deliverance, okay, because we have these Edomites that are prescribing these unrighteous decrees, all right, which the word prescribed is chachab, or chachab, which it means to write or record, all right. So it's written down. They of course draft their various laws, and which they make up, all right, pass it in the legislation, and these standards are ever being changed based to produce profit for these various companies, all right. It says, meanwhile, the debate around label standards of plant-based meat wages on. In recent weeks, lawmakers in 15 states with support of local cattlemen's association introduced legislation that would use meat, or mazawan, in terms such as beef or vegan or cell-based products. This proposition, or proposed legislation, comes during a time when customer interest in meatless products is blooming, and it resulted in a 22% increase in vegan meat sales, and our sales to 1.5 billion in 2018. This is 2019, right? New. It says these proposed laws cite customer confusion around the food labels, and primarily reason for barring plant-based companies from using certain terms, which presumably include ground beef label afforded to pink slime. So you have a bunch of confusion, and the Lord is not to offer confusion, but you had received this with Esau, Edom, the wicked, all right, where these different companies, they're battling, okay, for various classifications, okay, because they disguise things within how they're being termed, okay. And if you don't, of course, stay up to date with these things, you're going to be destroyed, okay, with it, okay, because you're going to consume all of these things, which are going to do adverse things to your health. This is going to be the book of Ecclesiasticus 30:14. It says, better is the poor being sown, and we're of course the poor, all right, though we are rich in this truth, all right, Amath, Za'amath. It says, better is the poor being sown and strong of constitution. Alright. Which constitution, if I may go into that, the bar word. Okay, it means here. Okay, fundamental principles, established proceedings. That goes, of course, into these fundamental principles that are established. You know, you go into the law, statutes, commandments. All right. Okay. It says, then a rich man that is afflicted in his body, and most of these rich men, okay, they're fat, shape, okay, and they suffer from various forms of obesity. And different diseases, which put the body at disease, because it's acidic, it's imbalanced. All right, and most of our people suffer from these various curses because they don't want to change, all right, their diets. It says health and a good estate of a body are above all gold. It says in sound body, and a sound body above infinite wealth. So it's, of course, all right, health, having good health. All right, because we're in these bodies which were borrowed, okay, and these flesh is weak, but of course, having good health, all right, is above, all right, all having an infinite wealth. Okay, it's better, of course, to be able to be, you know, able-bodied than to be sick and ill. All right, okay, with all these infirmities. It says there is no riches above a sound body, and no joy, shemak or la shemak, all right, joy or rejoice, okay, above the joy of halab, all right, of the heart, which is your mind. Okay, it says death or mawath is better than a bitter life or continual sickness, all right, because you're suffering the entire time. Okay, you just want to be put out of your misery. Okay. Let's go to another scripture. This is going to be the book of Ezekiel 4:13. It says here that, I believe I should start up, should read the whole thing, but you know, for the sake of time, I'm just going to go to the point. It says here, I'm just going to start at 12. It says here, and this is Ezekiel, he was under a commandment by Yahweh. It says, and thou shalt eat as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of man in their sight, which is shite. All right, the Lord, of course, gave Ezekiel this basically this decree or commandment, all right, in which basically, you know, yeah, to eat an abomination, which that's what we're doing these days. Okay. It says here, and Yahweh said, even thus shall the children, or the bunyam, shall Yasha'Allah of Israel, eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, nations, all right, or the Gawayim, all right, whether I will drive them, which the Lord, of course, scatter us about. Okay, right, which he drive. I want to go into this Nadah, what's that? Nadach, all right, which is to drive away, banish, all right. We were taken out of our land, okay, in which our land is currently being occupied by both Yashamai Allah, so-called Ishmaelites, or Ishmael, Slakia, or so-called Arabs, and you have it where the so-called Jews, which are Edomites, Amalekites, there, of course, are in our land, okay, which is this is the land for the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, Israel. All right, so this is another precept just to back up the whole scattering thing. This is going to be the book of Zechariah, the 7th chapter, and I believe we're going to go to verse. I'm gonna start at 12, and it reads, I'm gonna start actually here at verse 9. It says, thus speaketh Yahweh of hosts, saying, execute a mashapat, all right, a true judgment, okay, So you have here Mashapat, Amath, judgment, or Amath is truth, Mashapat is judgment, Shapat wa, all right, which Shapat is means to judge, and wa is it, his or he, all right, wa chasad, mercy, or show mercy right here, all right, and compassion, every man to his brother. That's going into the Hebrew, it's our language. It says, and oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. And Esau is our brother, he's our evil twin brother, and he of course complains to, or put up these prayers, all right, to of course the Most High through his Chaldeans, these elites, these wicked, of course the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and DuPonts, these various Masons and Masonic, demonic, of course elites. They of course are the accuser of our brother. Okay, and you can read that in the scriptures. Okay, but they don't of course treat us as brethren, because there's an enmity between the woman, all right, being us, the nation Israel, and you have it, they're the serpent, all right, and they're Esau, Edom, okay, same spirit, okay, same in Cain as well. It says, but they refused to hearken, all right, and pulled away the shoulder and stopped their ears that they should not hear. It says, yea, they have made their hearts as an adamant stone, lest they should hear ha-tharara, in the words which Yahweh of hosts, okay, hath sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from Yahweh of hosts, all right, which they don't want to hear ha-thabayayim, all right, the prophets, okay, all right, nabayayim, all right, Nabayah is of course prophet. Y'all make it plural. They don't want to hear the prophets, which we were telling you, okay, and the prophets of old, which we're just not but the prophets of old, come back in regeneration, all right, back in the flesh. We're telling you, okay, listen to Yahweh Shem Ashai, follow law, statutes, commandments, and all truth and sincerity to the best of your ability. Have faith in Yahweh Shem Ashai and be delivered, all right, if you're of the elect. Most people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear they can't eat pork. They don't want to hear that they can't eat McDonald's, that McDonald's is defiled, Wendy's, and all these various fast food chains, and you know, you go into these processed meats, all right. It says, therefore it shall come to pass that he cried and they would not hear, so they cried and I would not hear, said Yahweh of hosts. Okay, and the Lord, of course, he keeps stretching out his arm to you Israelites, and you still push it back. That's why it's going to come a time when Yahweh Shem Shai is not going to be fine. It's going to be la'achasad out here. You're going to get caught up within the wicked imaginations, which, you know, you just leave yourself in your own devices, the own thoughts, wicked thoughts. Reading on verse 14, the point, it says, but I scattered them with the whirlwind among all nations. All right, so we were scattered amongst the four winds. All right, whom they knew not. Thus the land was desolate after them, destroyed, that no man passed through it nor returned, for they laid the pleasant land desolate. Okay, so the Israelites, okay, have been scattered amongst the nations. Only Israelites can come back to this truth. All right, our shawab, our return. Okay, let's go into another scripture, which we have here, the book of Ecclesiastes, or Ecclesiastes in the Bible, chapter 3:3, and it says, actually it started at 1, to everything there's a season and a time for every purpose under the Shemayim, under heaven, pertaining to the word Shemayim. All right, it says here, I'm going to go to this point, verse 3. It says a time to kill, all right, a time to heal, all right, a time to rapah, all right, let's see what we got. Yeah, rapah, all right, a time you got ith, all right, ith, you have la harag, All right, harag, all right, being to kill. Harag, all right. Going into, and it says two or la. You got rapa, rawapa, or rapawa. All right, to heal. All right, and it's time to break down and a time to build up. All right, which is a time to build up. All right, which, let me see that Hebrew word right there for build is banah. All right, it's a time to be edified in the, you know, in a carnal sense. Though we in the flesh, it's a time to get back our health. All right, and try to, of course, come back these lost statutes and commandments, because we knew, of course, not to eat these excess of meats and such, because this society, being America, of course, promotes, all right, us to eat all of these meals and such, you know, excess amounts of meat, okay, which is against our actual customs, which are written in scriptures. All right, this is going to be the book of Ecclesiasticus, the 37th chapter, and I'm going to go to, that'll be verse 30, and it reads here that it says, "Be not unsatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meats." It says, "For excess of meats bringeth sickness, and suffering will turn into cooler." It says, "By suffering many have perished, but he that taketh heed prolongeth his life." All right, which we go into it, the word for suffering, it means here to feed so as to oppress the stomach and derange the function of the system, to overfeed, right, and produce satiety, sickness, or uneasiness, which is disease, often reflex as suffering one's self with sweets. Okay, so it's, you know, the scriptures is telling you, Yahweh is telling you not to, of course, clog up your body eating all these excesses of meats and such. It's heavy. You don't need that much of meat and such. All right, have a balance. All right, eat more greens and such. Okay, some achim go vegan, some go vegetarian, you know, but, you know, of course, the point is not to, you know, you don't have to have, of course, all these meats, especially, you know, stay or refrain from having these meats that have this pink slime in it, you know, which, you know, shoot, I mean, however, we go by faith, but we don't know if they putting in all of the, even the organic products and such. As it said, our meat is, you shall eat our food, our defiled bread amongst the Gentiles. All right, so, all right, you have to understand, you can't overeat. Give your body a rest. Do tazawam, all right, or to fast. Okay, give your body a rest so it can recover. Let your stomach be able to, you go have a Shabbat, all right, to rest. You know, you got to cease from eating and such, you know, so it can recover, all right, because that's what your immune system is, you know, in your gut, your stomach. Okay, of course, consume probiotics and such, you know, you got the various forms, you know, I drink like kombucha, all right, of course, eat fibrous foods and such, greens, all right, beans and such, legumes, all right, pottage, as it said, okay, you know, more so, okay, and balance things out, okay, because I'm going to bring out some more information. This is going to be off of, this is Dr. MichaelWayne.com. It says, "The meat you eat, steroid use in livestock." It says I'm just gonna skip to it. Says in yesterday's article, I discussed the rampant use of antibiotics in livestock. That's your cattle and such, your cows and such, your cows, all right, goats and such. It says primarily used as a tool to help them grow larger and bigger. All right, why they want them larger and bigger? So that they can, of course, take out these big cuts of meat to be sold in your wee stores to get you to buy, so that they can profit. All right. It says in 70% of all antibiotics used in the U.S. is for livestock use. All right. So what's that? Leaving what? 30%? 70? You got 80, 90, 100. 30%. What are they, just free roaming? Anyway, going on, it says, but that's only half the story of the drug livestock. Antibiotics aren't the only drugs given to livestock to help them grow faster. They need them to grow faster because this place, of course, has that supply and demand. So much demand for these foods and such. People, are mainly obese here and such. Okay, opposed to over there in the east and such. All right, where they have a diet that's less, all right, fatty. Okay, but you have it where Babylon has polluted this whole earth, so many people are grossly obese. It says each year U.S. farmers raise 39 million beef cattle. 99% of all beef cattle enter feedlots in the United States are given steroidal hormonal implants to promote faster growth. A large percentage of the poultry and pigs, your chickens and pigs, whereas in a swine, you're not supposed to eat that. Go back to Leviticus 11 chapter. It says are also fed these drugs. It says many cattle are fed the same muscle-building androgens, usually testosterone surrogates, that some athletes consume. Obviously, these athletes consume these illegally. All right. Testosterone is naturally produced in the body. They, of course, take these things, inject them, all right, unnaturally, and which obviously it lets the body, of course, do things which are what people deem as superhuman. All right, which Jake normally, of course, is athletic naturally and gifted, all right, with these natural talented. But you have Edomites that take these too to try to be like Jake and try to, of course, be perform above the average. Okay, it says other animals receive estrogens, the primary female sex hormone, or prostogens, and has semi-androgenic agents to shut down the female estrous cycle. It says proteins fuel meat building by freeing up resources that have gone into the reproductive cycle. It says while the federal law prohibits people from self-medicating with most steroids, administering these drugs to the U.S. cattle is allowed. You see, and this is all within their, of course, prescribing these unrighteous decrees, which I had read in the book of Isaiah, the 10th chapter, in the first verse, about woe unto them that, as it written, it says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, that to turn away the needy from judgment and to take away the right, all right, the tazadak, the poor of my people. All right, the Lord's people, the Israelites. All right, so that's it. What I'm gonna bring out new. I can go into this more in depth, but I was gonna get a psalm, but I'm just gonna close it out and leave it simple at plain as that. Hopefully you're edified. All right, stay away from this pink slime. As you see here, USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture, allows pink slime to be labeled ground beef. Watch out. Shalom to the elect.